Franny K. Stein, Mad Scientist, Book 2, Attack of the 50-Foot Cupid. Chapter 8, Cupid is as Cupid does. Franny couldn't wait to show her new valentines to her friends. Miss Shelley followed the screams. "See?" Franny said. "Cupid," Miss Shelley gasped. "I had a hard time choosing the mushy thing for him to say, but then I figured that nothing was mushier than guts." Miss Shelley was speechless. "Do you want to see the rest?" Franny asked. Miss Shelley nodded. "Valentine, you really caught my eye. Nice catch." "Valentine, you're swell. I hope the swelling goes down." "Valentine, you've stolen my heart. Now give it back." "Valentine, I hope you are punctured to a satisfactory degree." "You won't be my Valentine? Well, suit yourself." "Valentine, you're such a treasure. Maybe you should be buried." "Franny," Miss Shelley said finally, "you'd better have a look at this." And she handed Franny a real valentine. Chapter 9, Pink, Cute, I'm Going to Be Sick. Franny stared at the card. So this was what Miss Shelley was talking about. This was Cupid, all fat and pink and adorable. Ugh! Now, what is it that this guy does again? Franny asked. "He flies around and shoots his little arrows and makes people fall in love. Pretty horrible, huh?" Franny said. Miss Shelley laughed. Franny looked at her friends. She still didn't understand them, but she was crazy about them. So if a naked baby was what they wanted, that's what they were going to get. "Okay, Miss Shelley, I understand now," she said, and Miss Shelley lent her the Cupid card to study. Chapter 10, Working Like a Dog. Late that night, Franny sat at her desk staring at the Cupid card. She still had a lot of work to do if she was going to get cards for everyone done on time, but her heart just wasn't in it. "I'm tired," she said and tossed the card aside. "I'll finish the rest tomorrow." Igor watched quietly, but he really wanted to help. After Franny went to bed, Igor tried to sleep, but he was still upset about not being allowed to help. He walked around the room looking at Franny's marvelous experiments in progress, and reminded himself not to touch them. He couldn't think of anything to do until he noticed, upon Franny's desk, his little rubber ball. Chapter 11, That's the Way the Ball Bounces. Igor knew that he was allowed to touch the ball, so he carefully climbed up on the chair and reached for it. He took special care not to touch any of Franny's things. Suddenly, the wheels on the chair shifted, and Igor knocked the ball over the table edge. The ball bounced twice, then hit the switch on Franny's manifester. The manifester fired a beam directly at the Cupid card, which caused an itty-bitty, real-life Cupid to drop out the other side. And zwing, zwiss, zwang, tiny arrows flew toward Igor as the tiny Cupid started shooting, which is exactly what Cupid is supposed to do. Swing, swizz, swang. Igor dodged left and right. He made sure not to touch anything, just as Franny had told him. Igor avoided jars he could have trapped Cupid in, and a butterfly net he could have caught him with, because Franny had told him not to touch anything, and Igor was determined to do just as Franny instructed. Suddenly, Igor heard a click and a zap, followed by a loud, crunching crack. One of Cupid's arrows had bounced off a button on one of Franny's gizmos, and that gizmo was the Biggerizer. Chapter 12. Hey, meester, watch the keister. A loud crunch woke Franny and she looked up, way up. Through the hole in the ceiling, she saw the moon in the early morning sky. It looked pinker and squishier than it ever had before. Pinker? Squishier? Wait a second, Franny thought. That's not the moon. That's the biggest baby butt the world has ever seen.